Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. Today we're talking about crafting with essences in Path of Exile. Now this is a perfect video for beginners, so we're going to be talking about where to get essences, how they operate, and what are the best ways of using them specifically. So let's go over the first thing directly. What is an essence? Well, an essence is a currency that is used in PoE, which can apply specific affixes to either a piece of armor or a weapon or a piece of jewelry. So this essence of hatred can apply cold damage to a bow, it can apply cold resistance to a piece of armor, or cold damage to a piece of jewelry as well. Now essences come in specific sets of tiers. You have a whispering essence, a muttering, weeping, wailing, screaming, shrieking, and deafening. Now each tier of essence will give you a higher set of rolls for each kind of affix you're looking for. So a weeping essence of hatred gives me 29 to 40 cold damage for the bow, but a deafening essence of hatred gives me 134 to 184 damage of cold for a bow. See how that works? So you always want to have a deafening more so than any other tier. Now, if you're looking at my stash tab, you're saying, Alex, I don't have this stash tab. How do I get this? What is going on? This is merely a paid stash tab. You don't need this tab for your essences, and you don't need them to upgrade your essences either. You can actually upgrade it without the tab whatsoever. By doing so, you'll just go ahead and take 3 essences that are the same in that same tier. So we have Shrieking Essence of Sorrow 3 times. We take them to a vendor, and we just go ahead and sell them. When we sell 3 of the same tier of the same essence, we then get the upgraded tier. We had Shrieking Essences of Sorrow. Now we have 1 Deafening Essence of Sorrow. So even if you don't have the stash tab, you can upgrade it directly with your vendor. It's a really nice little trick. You can do that with every other piece of currency in the game as well. So you don't have to buy these stash tabs. They're great if you're getting into endgame, makes your life easier, but it is not necessary, just to make you guys aware. So great, you know about essences, you know they can apply different kinds of affixes to your gear or your weapon. You know how to upgrade them. How do we actually get these essences, and then how do they work? Well, what you want to do is you want to run maps to get those essences. And the thing is, you don't want to run any tier of map that is 1 through 5 or 11 through 16 or even 17 or even any of the other maps here as well. What you want to run is basically tier 6 and tier 7 maps. Why is that? Basically because if you run a lower tier of map like a white tier of map, then you will get a lower tier of essence. If you run a yellow tier, you get a higher tier of essence. But if you run a red tier of map or tier 17, you do not gain a higher tier of essence. You actually stay within the same bracket of yellow, which means running a tier 16 map with more difficult monsters is not going to get you any benefit if you just run a tier 6 map with easier monsters to kill, but you'll still be able to gain those same essences. Did that make sense? I hope so. Let's do an example, shall we? So I have a map already prepared here, and I want to show you exactly what I'm doing. I have a tier 7 channel map. Now, one of the more important things is you do not want to actually upgrade this map in terms of using alchemy orbs or anything like that. You want to keep it scoured and white. The reason is any affix that is applied to that map is also applied to that essence monster, and that is a major problem. What I've also done is I've added essence scarabs here as well. These each apply 2 additional imprisoned monsters. This essence scarab of ascent will increase my tier of essences inside of the map, and essence scarab of calcification will make any rare monster inside the map itself an essence monster. So that means that right now we have an extra 2, 4, 6 monsters that are essence monsters. Any rare monster also becomes an essence monster. And in our map receptacle here, we can go ahead, or a map device. I don't know why it's called map receptacle. It should just be map device. Anyways, we can choose the essence tab here, which applies it to all maps, where we get an additional 4 essence monsters. Now that's at the cost of 6 chaos orbs. So we in reality have 10 guaranteed essence monsters to choose from, but we also have all those other rare monsters as well. Now, here's the thing though. How do we get even more essences in our maps? Basically, you want to go ahead and get your Atlas tree and select any node that is directly correlated to essences. So you can just click this essence little button right here in the middle of all of them, and anything that is associated with an essence will light up. There's one node specifically you need to be made aware of though, and that is crystal resonance. Now, crystal resonance says a map boss is granted a random essence modifier from any imprisoned monster slain in your map. That means because we have 10 guaranteed essence monsters in our map, a random essence from each one of those 10 different monsters will be applied to the final map boss. So unless your build is incredibly powerful, has a lot of defenses, and can do a lot of damage, you should not choose this node. It's going to make things very difficult for you. So that's pretty much it. Now you may have noticed I have some other nodes selected here as well. I don't always do essences with this map, but basically just focus on the one thing you want to look for. And if it's essences, just select those directly. I'm also looking for maps, and then I'm doing a couple of things with eater shrines and things like that, or scarabs. It doesn't really matter. It doesn't have to be perfect. Just select the thing you're trying to do, and you'll be fine from there. Let's go ahead and get some essences though. Let's run this bad boy and see what we can do. Now, here we go. This build is a sweep crit bleed build. It does about 29 million DPS. I'll put the POB in the description down below, but let's see if we can find an essence monster so I can show you guys exactly how this sort of runs. The cool thing is though, you'll see them on your map as there's the little blue spires like we saw in the Atlas tree, and they'll be here as well. Now, what you'll see are a couple of things. Oh, we've got a dread essence here. This is really good. You'll see the kinds of essences you have here on the actual monster. You'll see the actual affixes the monster has. Lightning Mirage when hit, extra life, extra lightning damage, and exposure. Let's go back into the actual stash here because I want to show you guys something. I almost forgot. When you have certain essences, you want to actually corrupt them. These are remnants of corruption. They corrupt the essences, trapping a monster, modifying them unpredictably. That's a really fun word that GGG likes to use. So any essence that is in a monster before you select them, if it has an essence of scorn, envy, misery, or dread, you want to corrupt that monster. Why? Because it is a possibility to give you these essences that are over here. These are very rare essences that you will find that can also be very expensive and sell for a lot of currency. So we've got some corrupted essences here, and I'll show you how to do that. I just noticed it really when we were just sort of like taking a look. Open my inventory, right click that essence, left click it, and we did not get that upgraded essence, but we did corrupt that monster. Let's go ahead and finish this fight real fast. Boom, those are our essences, and that's basically it. You just want to keep an eye out for those specific kind of essences there, and then just go through, run through the map, clear everything out, and then just get your essences and then leave. You do not have to clear the boss because we did not pick that other node to get those bosses having those essence modifiers, because honestly, I really don't feel like doing it. I'm also very lazy, and I'd rather just farm it like this, honestly, because we're using the calcification one. Not only that, but using the calcification scarab and then having it with the map boss being that same way would be, I feel, way too many essence modifiers, and it just would not be a fun time. It'd really be a very embarrassing sort of video if I did that. And every time I do a PoE video, I always embarrass myself, so I don't know why I do that to myself. All right, so we've gone ahead and farmed some essences here, and we're going to go ahead and jump back into our hideout and see what we can craft afterwards. Good stuff. We're not going to do the whole thing. That'll be kind of boring. So let's go ahead and have some fun. We're going to go and put these essences back into our stash real fast. Perfect. Now I have a bow here that has an implicit modifier, which I want to craft onto. 34% increased critical strike chance. I want to increase the amount of cold damage that this bow can do. I have 29 deafening essences of hatred. So let's go ahead and get that. We'll make it 30. Let's go ahead and craft on there. But I know that we're going to guarantee cold damage onto the bow. What other affixes are going to be applied? I'll show you now. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to your favorite website if you're going to be crafting in PoE, and that is Craft of Exile. Yes, it's going to be the one. Look at Gazzy. He's so handsome over here. Look at that. Great guy. Now, what you want to do is, if you're doing anything with essences, we're going to go ahead and choose a base group. We're going to say, oh, we are crafting onto bows, so two-handed weapons, a bow, and here we have every possible affix that we can choose from. So we're not doing fossils or chaos orbs or exalted orbs. We're going to do essences, and we're doing essences of hatred. And here we have every possible affix that can show with its weight and percentage of possibility on the list. So every prefix and every suffix. Now, as you can see, adds number to number cold damage is crossed out, because that essence will automatically apply that affix onto that weapon in the prefix slot. We can also get specific other ones like increased elemental damage, physical damage and accuracy, etc., etc. And you can see the percentage chance you have of getting each kind of affix on there. More than likely, you're probably going to get fire and lightning. That one tends to show up a little bit. Also on the suffix too, attack speed, crit chance, etc. That way you can say, okay, I had this essence that I want to use to get this specific kind of affix, which is great, but then what other things are going to be showing up that I can also possibly look for? Even if it's a lower tier, it'll definitely help you out in your crafting or getting your gear to a better spot. Now, that's the really important thing. You don't want to just pick the one kind of affix that shows up and then just be done with it, because maybe the other 5 or other 4 don't fit your build, which is why you also want to farm. So with that, we farmed about 30 essences of hatred, which really isn't a lot, honestly. We could do a bit more, but let's have some fun crafting. You want to put your essences on a piece of gear that is already white. You really can't do it on anything else. Once you have an item that has a good base, so either it has a good tier of physical damage or a crit chance or has an implicit modifier like this Harbinger bow, you can then apply the essence directly to it. So we keep our critical strike implicit modifier. We've added the cold damage. We've gained physical damage, lightning damage, and cold resist. Not the best because tier 5 fizz and then tier 2 lightning isn't too bad, but we can do a bit more. So we've got a tier 6 increased critical strike chance, 18% reduced attribute requirements, lightning damage for tier 7, and increased physical damage by tier 4. And of course, you can see prefix modifier essence for cold damage. So you basically just want to keep rolling on your essences for that piece of gear that you're trying to craft onto, what will be best for you, and then figure out what you can do from there. So we can just take a look here. Okay, what else do we got here? Let enemy hit, accuracy, projectile speed, fizz cold. Now I do have a heat shiver, ice shot, deadeye that I'm trying to work on. Let's see. Oh, well, look at that. Cold damage via the essence, increased critical strike chance, increased elemental damage with attacks. It's tier 3. It's not good, but not bad. Tier 7 fire damage, that could definitely be better. And then dexterity as well. We also have 2 open suffix slots. So 3 prefix slots are taken, 2 suffix slots are open. We can then take that bow, we can craft onto it whatever we'd like, and then we can go ahead and have some fun. So let's see what we can do onto this bow here. We can increase the attack speed, which would be really great. We can also add more cold damage percentage, which would also be very good. We can do increased critical strike chance, which is honestly what I would probably go for, or a critical strike multiplier, which really is more of my speed on that. So now we've added 26% increased critical strike multiplier. We've also have a 34% increased critical strike chance, dexterity, fire damage, cold damage, increased elemental attack with elemental damages, and let's have some fun. We've got an open suffix as well. I like to gamble. I don't know about you, but I do. Exalt Slam. Gain 9 life per enemy killed. Not bad, but not great. It could have been something a lot worse. Could have been something pretty good, but hey, there it is, tier 2. Now you've got a bow that you can definitely use on, let's say, yellow or even red maps that'll carry you through that end if you're trying to do that kind of gear. that's basically how you craft with essences. You can have a lot of fun with it. And if, you know, I just want to be kind of crazy on it, just corrupt that thing as well. And we got lightning damages. And every time I literally just destroyed the implicit. I don't know why I do this. Gamba, gamba, gamba. I embarrass myself every video. Every tutorial video, this always happens. Well, the bow is bricked. I might as well throw it away because I literally just broke the whole damn thing. That's how you craft in Path of Exile with essences. You got your first-hand look at corrupting. You also got your first-hand look at not only how to gain essences, but also how to use them and provide yourself with a good experience for crafting in PoE or bricking items like I do every single video. If you want to see more of this kind of content, subscribe to the channel. We're on our way to 2,000 subs, and I appreciate it. We're doing more PoE content for tutorials and news, as well as Diablo 4, Diablo 2, which is also pretty big as well. And on top of that, Last Epoch and PoE 2 coming up as well in the future. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you have a great one, and I'll see you next time.